Hello there, and welcome to Monday evening's North West Tonight with Roger Johnson. Thanks for joining us this evening. Our top story. A mother's warning over the dangers of ketamine as police say the use of the drug is increasing. And they tell us that some of its users are of primary school age. Also tonight, staying safe this Christmas. Police urge motorists not to drive under the influence. Buddy the runaway reindeer, whose seaside escapades sparked a massive search operation.
Did see a video of him running down the road somewhere.
Yeah, someone was doing a driving lesson and they had to stop because he was running down the road.
Well, it's Christmas, isn't it? So Christmas miracles, who knows?
Mike Joyce, drummer with the Smiths, joins us to talk about his memoir, Morrissey and Marr.
And on the first day of meteorological winter, it has been raining non-stop. More rain in the forecast. We've got warnings in force. Join me at the end of the programme. I'll give you all the details.
Ketamine is widely described as a party drug, but the mother of an addict from Cheshire says that it is destroying people's lives and killing people. The mother, whose identity we are protecting, told us that she is aware of young school children using the drug, and when we put that to the police, they said that children as young as 11 are taking it with devastating consequences. Kelly Foran reports.
It's like every day I'm waiting for that phone call for him to die, yeah.
Just waiting for her son to die is how Faye, a former nurse, is spending her life. Her adult son has been through rehab but relapsed again just last night. Even when we turned up here today, you'd been up all night with your son.
Yeah, and I was hoping to be prepared for this interview, but unfortunately I wasn't home till 4 in the morning because my son overdosed last night. They think he's going into organ failure again. His bladder, I couldn't move him because he was screaming in pain.
The pain caused by being addicted to ketamine.
And the ambulance said to me, can you find anything? How many bags? I said, I can't count.
And that was a surprise to you as well, going there last night.
Can you imagine seeing that? All of this. Yeah. And this is the reality.
It's a reality that's destroying lives. It's really cheap.
Yeah.
And really easy to get hold of, isn't it?
This drug is everywhere. They're selling it at £5 a bag to make it accessible. So they're chipping in what you might be thinking, oh, I'm giving my son lunch money. Actually, they're putting it to ketamine. So they're on ketamine at school.
But in the same route.
And the age is something the police are noticing is a worrying trend.
People are using it from a younger age, and we're seeing sort of even 11-year-olds who are being involved in use in schools. And certainly as a public health problem, you know, this is massive now in terms of the issues that it's presenting for young people.
Police say people in custody are wearing nappies as a result of ketamine use. They want people to report the suppliers. Crime Stoppers today joined forces with St Helens Rugby Club to help raise awareness.
If there is particular issues in the town and, you know, ketamine use is becoming an issue in young people in particular, then think about other options that they could do, you know, get into sport, get out, get active, look after your body.
Faye describes this as a pandemic, one she said society needs to be prepared for. Kelly Foran, BBC North West Tonight.
Thanks to Faye for talking to us. Not connected, but coincidentally today, Lancashire Police has launched its Christmas campaign against drink and drug driving. The force says that last year the number of people arrested and charged went up. It is setting up drink and drive sites across the county, but it also wants families and friends of people who are driving under the influence to shop them to the police, as Jonas Muller reports.
Specialist operations at Lancashire Police have set up a drink and drug check site in Preston.
It's just a routine stop, nothing to panic about.
Drivers are pulled over, some at random, others because of suspicions.
Can I just ask you to take the outer jacket off?
There's a strong smell of cannabis coming from this man's car.
Somewhat skins.
that's not the only thing on him.
We found a cannabis joint, nicely rolled up, ready for him. And then obviously he was then drug wiped under the Road Traffic Act, because obviously suspected he might be driving under the influence of cannabis. That's also come back positive, so at this point he's then been arrested.
You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. You're meant to question something which you later rely in court, and you do say maybe giving evidence. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
His vehicle is also seized.
This isn't just around check sites, so it's not just the chance of you being stopped. What we have is we have a small team that's currently working, and they have been doing for quite some time, using intelligence that's given by the public, and that's really important to stress. This is, this is a team effort, and the information, the intelligence that we get, and we proactively seek out those that are drink or drug driving.
Men between the ages of 20 and 39 make up more than half of all drink and drug drivers, often under the influence of drugs or alcohol consumed the night before.
Here in Lancashire, as part of Operation Limit, last year police carried out 307 drug wipes, 2,189 breath tests, resulting in 314 people being arrested and charged. Those numbers were up on the previous year.
Zero tolerance is being pushed, with colleagues, friends and families urged to tell police anyone they suspect is breaking the law.
The police see firsthand the impact this has on families, and it can be life-changing for many people. So our message would be that, just think before you drink. One bad decision could end a life.
It's Mike Juliet, 5-3, uniform Delta.
There will also be extra patrols across the region and messaging in pubs and petrol stations, all part of a campaign to keep everyone on and off the road safe. Eunice Muller, BBC Northwest Tonight, Preston.
Right, here's some of the other stories then that are making headlines in the Northwest tonight. And the rail regulator has reversed plans to ban passengers from the 7 a.m. train from Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston. It was planned that from mid-December the Avanti West Coast service was only going to carry staff, but after a public backlash over the weekend, the Office of Rail and Road U-turned on the decision within 24 hours. A former senior officer at Greater Manchester Police has been barred from policing after sending unsolicited photos to a junior female colleague. Chief Superintendent Robert Cousin admitted the allegations and that his actions amounted to gross misconduct. The misconduct panel said that he would have been sacked if he hadn't retired early yesterday. A yellow weather warning for rain is in place across Cumbria until midnight, with 7 flood warnings also issued. A number of roads are shut due to flooding. Motorists are urged not to drive through floodwater, and of course Kay will be here with a full forecast at the end of the programme. Now, when the £2 million Ingleside Birth and Community Centre opened in Salford in 2018, it was hailed as being state-of-the-art. However, since 2021, women have not been able to give birth there due to a lack of midwives. The closure means that pregnant women in Salford are having to travel to Bolton, Manchester or Wythenshawe to have their babies, as Juliet Phillips reports.
Careful, don't tip it over.
When Alex had Teddy, it was the best day of her life. But giving birth at Bolton Hospital hadn't been part of the plan. All her midwife appointments were at Ingleside Birth Centre, just half a mile from her house. But Alex was told that to have a baby there wasn't an option.
These 4 or 5 rooms at Ingleside that have the birthing pool, the calm environment, which would have just been a lot nicer than a sterile hospital room, especially when it's an uncomplicated pregnancy, birth. You just want to feel comfortable.
Within each of the birthing suites, we have a birthing pool.
Ingleside Birth and Community Centre opened in 2018, replacing the maternity unit at Salford Royal Hospital. The City Council, who own the building, spent around £2 million renovating it into a state-of-the-art midwife-led facility. In a statement, Bolton NHS Foundation Trust, who lease this building, have said that Ingleside has remained closed as a place to give birth since late 2021. They go on to say that it is still open for antenatal appointments, scans and postnatal care. NHS Greater Manchester, which is in charge of commissioning, said keeping births at Ingleside on hold hasn't been an easy decision, but it's the right one, while midwifery staffing remains under pressure. Salford MP Rebecca Long-Bailey has been urging the government to step in.
Women are being let down in Salford. We need to have our own birthing centre here in the city of Salford, and it isn't right that women, quite often with limited means, are having to travel for miles and miles across Greater Manchester to give birth and to receive the support that they need.
1, 2, 3.
For Alex, the lack of progress reopening the centre for births is frustrating.
It's really upsetting that we're still sat here and nothing has changed. Going on to think, well, we'll have more children in the future, and knowing it's still not an option 3.5 years later, it's really, really upsetting.
Juliet Phillips, BBC North West Tonight, Salford.
Talking to Mike Joyce from the Smiths in just a moment, but before that, here are some of the other stories that people are reading from BBC News. And Manx police say that there is no place for drugs on the Isle of Man. A group from Nottingham were jailed for trying to smuggle cocaine in a mini fridge. A 68-year-old marathon runner from Altrincham says that prostate cancer screening would have spotted his tumour. This is Tony Collier. He was given a terminal diagnosis 8 years ago. He's run loads of marathons. And you can read about the trend for charity shops to make themselves look like designer boutiques. The article online has examples in Greater Manchester and in Lancashire. Find out more at bbc.co.uk/local news, or have a look on the BBC News app. Before Mike Joyce, though, there was a mild panic among Santa's staff over the weekend. You ever get the feeling you're being watched? A runaway reindeer, not this one, called Buddy, escaped from a Christmas attraction in Formby. Now, armed police officers, the Coast Guard and even members of the Royal Marines were deployed to track him down after he fled from Santa's enchanted forest. But have they got him back in time for Christmas Eve? This is the big question. Anna Jameson's been looking into it.
It's like the plot from a Christmas film. Buddy the reindeer on a winter getaway, now a festive fugitive.
Did see a video of him running down the road somewhere,
Yeah,
didn't we?
someone was doing a driving lesson and they had to stop because he was running down the road.
Imagine. I hope it wasn't the driving exam. How do you explain that? Is that a minor or a major? What is it? Either way, Buddy certainly got his steps in, travelling nearly 9 miles from Formby, all the way to the Southport Dunes.
I believe he was asleep on the beach. What was his name?
Buddy.
Buddy. Oh, I'm glad he's found.
And he was, after quite literally a military operation involving the police, the Royal Marines and the lifeboat quad team.
It ended up getting chased out onto the Taylor's Bank, which is a bank alongside the River Mersey. They lost sight of it, and afterwards we ended up having to go along the edge of the Mersey and shepherd it back, and we managed quite well to shepherd it back into the sand dunes at Oltka Rifle Range. It was that tired, I think, after all the chasing, that it just fell asleep in the sand dunes.
Have you ever had a rescue mission quite like this?
No, nothing, no reindeers in the past. No, we've had other animals, but no reindeers, the first one. One of the little girls, my granddaughter, she put a video on with a thumbs up saying, "Thank you for saving Rudolph."
Buddy was finally found using thermal binoculars. He was then sedated and returned home from where he was loaned from here in North Wales.
This is it, Santa's enchanted forest. It's where the reindeer escaped from. Sadly, it's not looking very enchanted today. Apparently, it will reopen at the weekend. We did chat to somebody inside though, but he didn't want to talk to us about Buddy the reindeer.
A couple of hours later, we received a statement to say that Buddy was taken home to North Wales and was given a full bill of health by the vet. He's returning to us today for those who want to meet him over the Christmas period.
Well, it's Christmas, isn't it? So Christmas miracles, who knows?
Do you reckon it is one?
Definitely.
And after his practice run, Santa has told the BBC he's relieved Buddy will be ready for Christmas Eve. Anna Jameson, BBC North West Tonight in Formby.
I think Buddy's relieved, don't you? He was followed by armed police, the Royal Marines, shepherded onto a rifle range. Buddy. Good to have him back for Christmas. Now, I mentioned the Smiths. One of the first records I bought was How Soon Is Now. In the mid-1980s, of course, there were few bigger bands than the Smiths, but that meteoric rise was, I guess, just that. Before the decade was out, the band had fallen out and fallen apart, but their songs are still hugely popular and still finding new audiences. And 40 years on, the band's drummer, Mike Joyce, has just written his memoir.
been asked so many times, what was it like being in the Smiths? And I think just to say, it was fantastic. It was great. It doesn't really do it justice, so I thought, let's just put it into print. I think the fact that we, did 4 albums in 4 years, 18 singles, Top of the Pops, toured the world. First album gets number 20, and then second 15, struggling to, to be successful. It happened overnight, really, once that first single was released. Everybody that's ever been in a band ever wants to be talked about in 30, 40 years' time, and that's exactly what's happened with the Smiths. We resonate with people even now, and it's, I think it's testament to the brilliant songwriting, obviously, of Johnny, and the contributions of Morrissey and Andy and myself.
And you wrote the book with a bit of help from a woman from America who just helped, it's your words, but just helped you along.
Yeah.
But she didn't know anything about Manchester. So how did you describe the Manchester you grew up in to her?
And I was explaining to her about the no-go, like the Northern Quarter, for instance. It was pretty much a no-go zone, and there were no restaurants there. You wouldn't go out for a bite to eat there because at 6 p.m. everything shut down. There's a couple of pubs there, and that was it. People didn't come to Manchester to visit. You came to Manchester if you had relatives here, or if you came to university, or the Poly as it was then. People didn't come to Manchester for the weekend and come and hang out. I mean, I was down in London speaking to people down there and say, where are you from? Manchester? And they go, oh, really? What's it like? I said, well, it's all right. What do you mean? Is it OK up there? They had no idea what Manchester was like. It was, not the forbidden zone, but it was just a very kind of a dark place. So I tried to explain some of that, what Manchester was really like in the 60s and 70s, again, prior to the Smiths.
Take me out tonight.
And you've said very clearly you don't think there'll ever be an Oasis-style reunion, and obviously Andy's no longer with us, sadly. Would you have a beer with Johnny and Morrissey if you, as older men now? Could you sit down and have a pint and have a?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I saw Johnny at Andy Rourke's memorial, and then I saw him at the match, the West Ham game. I saw him there, and we had a chat and stuff, and that's fine. Just keep it like that. I know that. I mean, obviously the Smiths can't reform because Andy's not here, but Morrissey and Johnny, if they want to get it together and do something, fair enough, off you go and have a good one.
And the book's out just in time for Christmas, Mike. Good timing.
It is. Oh, it's a perfect stocking filler.
Mike, it's lovely to see you. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Yeah, if you want to catch Mike before Christmas, he'll be signing copies of his book. It's called The Drums in Manchester tomorrow evening. He'll be in Waterstones on Deansgate from 6 o'clock. Right, let's move on to sport. Richard? Oh, my gosh, that was a throwback in time, wasn't it?
I mean...
Ian, I'm so sorry.
Come on.
Sorry. Ian, it's December. It's the season to be jolly, even if I did give you the wrong name. Liverpool fans have got something to be jolly about at long last as well.
They have, rather. Sorry, Gordon. While Arne Slot won't see one winning all his Christmases coming at once, he'll certainly be happier starting this week after yesterday's victory at West Ham, given the pressure on him after a dismal run of results. There's not much time to dwell on that, though, as the traditional busy December schedule begins for all our Premier League clubs, with a full round of midweek fixtures to come. Isak scoring his first Premier League goal since his record move from Newcastle in the summer. And as that may have been a sign of things to come, could this also have been Mo Salah, a substitute for the first time since April last year?
Liverpool's starting lineup, it's going to be talked about.
Mo has been so important for the club and will be very important for us as a club.
Next up for Liverpool, Sunderland at Anfield on Wednesday.
Really, really tough games. Difficult. The organisation is exceptional, and every year I have the feeling that with the ball they are better and even better.
Wrong side here, Angle's tough. Manchester United host West Ham on Thursday, having moved up to 7th with yesterday's 2-1 win at Crystal Palace.
I think we understood well the game, but we need to be careful with the first half. I think our pace, the way we passed the ball, was too slow.
It's a really good Newcastle team. They've been building for the last 4 or 5 years. It was a tough game for us, but look, hopefully we'll learn from it.
Meanwhile, Burnley's woes continued, losing 3-1 at Brentford, with all 4 goals coming in the last 10 minutes.
There's elements to our game at this present time what we need to learn from and we need to fix for sure. There's a journey ahead of us where there's going to be some bumps in that journey. We need to learn and be brutally honest in our assessment of things.
The Clarets host Crystal Palace on Wednesday. Mixed fortunes for our Premier League clubs over the weekend then, and the same can be said for our EFL sides. In the Championship, away game specialist Blackburn drew at Wrexham, but fifth place Preston North End got their first win in 4 games at bottom club Sheffield Wednesday. Mads Frokjar's goal sealing a 3-2 win. None of our League One sides won, but Stockport remain our highest placed in 5th. Callum Connolly's late goal salvaging a point at home to Barnsley. In League Two, Salford City are up to 7th after a thrilling 4-3 win over Crawley. Callum Cersei with the winner on 86 minutes, and Accrington Stanley moved 5 points clear of the relegation zone after a Jamie Robson own goal gave them a 1-0 win at home to Oldham Athletic. Sale Sharks have injury concerns to England internationals George Ford and Asher Opoku-Fojo ahead of the start of their European campaign. The Sharks host Glasgow Warriors on Friday on the back of the narrowest of defeats at home to Exeter in the Prem on Friday. Ford was on good form prior to coming off, but Sale would squander a 20-point lead to eventually lose 27-26. Finally, from me, you might remember North West Tonight was the first programme to interview 2-year-old snooker prodigy Jude after we, and millions of others to be fair, saw his skills on TikTok videos and on the gram, as they call it. Here he was in our report in October. Well, now his fame has grown yet more after a magical moment at the UK Snooker Championship over the weekend.
His favourite TV programme is The Octonauts. His bedtime is 6:15. He's a huge Man United fan. Remember the name, remember the face. Here he comes. At the tender age of 2, it's Jude Owens.
Remember the name, Roger will be calling him Richard. There he is with his dad, successfully negotiating the stairs, no mean feat in itself, before taking centre stage at York Barbican. I wonder if he'll be back there as a competitor in 13 or 14 years' time. We'll wait and see on that. And look on the sofa, is Kay dressed as a human glitter ball?
Ian,
Happy Advent.
Yes, thank you, Ian. Yeah, she's the only one in the festive spirit, isn't she? Meteorological winter.
Meteorological winter,
Yeah.
first day of Advent. I had to bring the sparkle to the studio.
Right, so you had this idea back at the end of last year to do 25 special places or people in 2025.
Yep.
How many have you done?
20. This is our 23rd.
OK, so you've got to be busy. 2 more to do in the next couple of weeks.
2 more to go and a nice roundup. And this was one of my favourites, Roger, because I went and spent the morning with loads of women and babies. I got a little bit broody. 9 groups of singing mamas from across the Northwest. Preston, Chorley, Warrington and others all came along to sing at Liverpool Central Library, and it was simply gorgeous.
So Singing Mamas is a grassroots movement. The idea is literally to bring women together, sing together, connect with each other and use the songs to help support our health and well-being.
Come along somewhere and then sing on the back of No Sleep. How are you finding that?
Do you know what? Baby brain is completely welcome. The songs that we do are all really simple songs, and it's so good for women's brains to have good messages going through. Songs like I am a tower of strength, I am good enough, everything's going to be all right.
It's really nurturing and you feel valued and cared for, and yeah, just a really lovely, safe space to be.
I lost my mum 3.5 years ago and I really needed a community of women, and I've not regretted it since. It's been the best thing ever.
So much of motherhood and kind of those early years are about classes just for the kids, but this is about me, you know, and it's that kind of feeling of I always say community parenting, like it's like that village.
Through the singing we build really close friendships. It's quite a vulnerable thing, but you don't have to have the best voice. It's not about the singing, it's just the process of doing it together. We lift our voices together and we make a beautiful sound, so you don't need to have, you know, everyone can sing.
They're the Singing Mamas, and they've got groups right across the Northwest. I wish I'd known about them when I had my 2 little ones. Huge thank you. Now then, weather-wise today, oof, it's been chucking it down at times. We have got a warning in force. I'll come to that in a minute. It did brighten, though, eventually, before more rain has arrived. It is, of course, the first meteorological day of winter. Looking back at autumn of 2025, it's been wetter than average, the 5th wettest autumn since 1836, with 3 named storms. Hopefully we'll fare better for winter, but already this cold front has provided an awful lot of rain. Like I said, we've got a warning in force, and low pressure will continue to be in charge throughout this week and into the weekend as well. So you can see the yellow, that's the warning area, valid until midnight tonight. Some heavy downpours continue. They'll eventually start to peter out, though I think for parts of Cumbria you will still have some heavy showers during the early hours. Still windy, but the winds will ease a bit from today. And while it's chilly, 6 to 8 degrees, there won't be a frost. But there will be spells of sunshine from the word go. I still think for Cumbria you are going to get some showers. Through the day, a lot of dry and fine weather, but still into the afternoon, showers returning, and they could give you the odd rumble of thunder for parts of Cumbria. Highs of around 10 degrees. As we head then towards the back end of the week, it looks like we'll have a weak ridge of high pressure calming things down for a time on Thursday, but looking further afield, low pressure returning into the weekend. So for Wednesday, a fine start to the day, but then that front pushes through. It's going to stay with us as we head overnight Wednesday into Thursday. So more rain on the cards. Top temperatures around 9 degrees, and temperatures hover around that as we go through the week. That's your forecast.
You're always pleasant and jovial, you. That's what Alison said when you... What's the name?
Aspel on the map.
Yeah, did you mention it?
I didn't. Honestly, I've got memory like a sieve. Thank you, Alison.
Thank you for watching. Have a great evening. Good night.